What's good, everybody? Hopefully you guys are doing good. So we are back today for another video. In this video I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of a stock that I do not own yet, but it is on the watch list for August going into the holidays. It might be a good pickup, but I'm keeping my eyes on it. Before we begin, this is my Twitter channel. In case you guys aren't already following, what are you waiting for? The fun never ends. All you gotta do is click the follow, and every day I'm pretty active on there. If you send me a message or a comment, that's the best way I can respond to you. It's quick, it's easy. Go ahead and follow, send a message, and the fun never ends. Okay, let's begin. Alright, so the stock I'm talking about is Hasbro. Now, in case you guys are not from the US, you're not aware with Hasbro. Hasbro is an American-Canadian multinational conglomerate with toy, board game, and media assets headquartered in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Hasbro owns the trademark and products of Kenner, Parker Brothers, and Milton Bradley, among others. So Hasbro is basically a toy company, and these are some of their stuff you can see here. Films produced, Transformers, the G.I. Joe series. They got popular toys like Monopoly. I'm going to go over their stuff in a little bit. However, this is my process before I ever get invested into a stock. Disclaimer, this is not stock advice. I do not own Hasbro. This is only for fun and entertainment purposes. Before making any purchases, talk to an expert in your area. Okay, let's begin. So right now it is trading at $76.85. The 52-week high was 123. The 52-week low is around 41. The current dividend yield is 3.53%, which is not bad. The market cap is 11 billion, so it's not huge. And the PE ratio is about a 26, which is kind of high. Now, if we go to the 1 year, because it's been a crazy year, so the 1 year is going to be an indicator that I'm going to look at. I'm going to start from beginning of January, and then once this whole issue came in, the bug, it dropped to the low 40s, which that was probably a good buying point. It was low 40s. They went up to 60 something, and then it dropped down again to the low 60s and went back up, and it's kind of been hovering anywhere from 60 to 70 a share. Now, even 5 years, if you check, it was pretty stable. I mean, almost $100 a share at one point, and it was over 100 in late last year. The stock's been doing pretty well in the past, but right now it is taking a hit. However, the chart, just based on a chart, it's a chart I like for the most part. It went up, it dropped, it went up, it dropped, it went up, and then who knows, maybe before this whole thing kicked in, this would have kept going up to maybe 120, 130, close to 200, who knows. Now, the thing after that, I look at the chart's pretty good, it's decent. I'm familiar with Hasbro, I'm not an expert, I need to do more research, but I know enough to where I can go to the next step. The next step, I open up some sort of dividend screener. I use this one, Simply Safe Dividends. This is not sponsored. You can sign up for the weekly trial, and then after that you can sign up to use it going forward. Now, we can confirm the yield is 3.56%. Dividend safety is 55, borderline safe, which I don't like. The dividend growth is 8% last year, which is fast. Price 76.49, market cap 10.6 billion, which is a large cap, and the volatility is considered high. Now, as you guys can see, it is borderline safe, and it was downgraded to borderline safe. So it did have a safer dividend, but with everything going on, they kind of had to adjust the safety. Okay, so here's some key metrics I like to look at. The payout ratio is 74%, which for me would be high for this industry. Edging high for most companies. Forward PE ratio edging high for most companies. Net debt to EBITDA 3.72 edging high. Net debt to capital high for most companies. However, here's a positive. It has 18 years without a dividend reduction, which I like. Recession dividend during the Great Recession, 07 to 09, it maintained its dividend. Sales minus 4% above average growth during the Great Recession, and negative 24% during the recession. Here's some more information about the dividend. As you can see, last year 8% fast, last 5 years 10% fast, last 20 years 13% per year, very fast. And this is their chart right here. It's growing pretty steadily, which I like. 10 years dividend growth of consecutive increase, 18 years without a reduction, which is pretty impressive. Given everything going on, they still haven't reduced it, which is a good sign. Over time, they've been growing it. You're going to get paid quarterly if you have it, February, May, August, November. Annual payout is $2.72 per share, and ex-dividend date is going to be August 30th. And I'm not going to go over this too much, but if I was going to really start to invest in this, I would look at all this stuff. So the valuation is telling you the forward PE, dividend yield, financials. I'd go through all this in detail to see where their sales are, where they're going, their shares outstanding, all this stuff you gotta spend a lot of time on. We don't have time here, but just something to keep in the back of your mind. Go through everything. Whatever information you get your hands on it. Next step, we go to another screener. I like to use two screeners. This is Dividend Channel, another free resource, not sponsored, easy to use. I use this all the time. Hasbro dividend history and description. Hasbro is a global play and entertainment company, United States and Canada, which includes the marketing and selling of action figures, electronic toys, and related electronic interactive products, among others, primarily in the US and Canada. However, it does have international markets as well, and they sell toys and game products in European, Asia Pacific, and Latin and South America region. Entertainment licensing and digital, which includes consumer product licensing, digital gaming, movie and television, entertainment operations, and global operations. So there you have it. That's basically Hasbro in a nutshell. And another chart just to show, since 2004, the dividend's been going up over time, which is a good sign. On the corner here, you got more information. Market cap about 10 billion, which is, it's not big, but it's decent. And it shows you since 2004, they've been steadily increasing the dividend over time, which is a good sign. Now, once I do that, we got enough information. This is on the watch list, so I continue to see, okay, what other information is there? What is the news on Hasbro? Now, this is pretty recent. This is from July 27th. Hasbro revenue falls 29% as store closures, product shortages hurt sales, shares drop. Store closures, product shortages, and lower retail inventory hampered Hasbro in the second quarter. Despite strong demand for toys in the quarter, Hasbro's revenue fell 29% on a pro forma basis. Nearly 30% of global toy and game revenue came from online sales. Yeah, during that time where places had to close, only essentials could open. That definitely took a hit for a lot of companies. Now, as you can see, despite strong demand for toys in the quarter, Hasbro's revenue fell 29%. For the quarter ended on June 28th, Hasbro posted a net loss of $34 million or 25 cents per share, compared with a profit of $13.4 million or 11 cents per share. The company took a hit. Now, here we go. So in case you guys are wondering what specific toys they sell, here's a few right here. The company's gaming portfolio remained strong during the quarter, which revenue in the category rose about 11%, fueled by sales of Jenga, Connect 4, Mousetrap, and Twister. Man, I remember those commercials back in the day. You woke up Saturday morning, you watched your Power Rangers, and in between you had your commercials. You had your Mousetrap commercial, your Twister commercial. I mean, those days are gone, but those were the good old days. Leave me a comment below. Do you guys remember those? In between those TV shows, the Power Rangers, they'd play all these different board games. Good times. And also they'd play commercials of the action figures too. However, disruption in Hasbro's supply chain resulted in stock levels being low and limited its numbers of shipments during the quarter. Yeah, that definitely took a hit too. So companies who had to ship products took a hit because products coming from other countries, it was a lot more difficult to ship items during this time with everything being shut down. Here we go. Factories in China, which represent 55% of Hasbro's production, were open during the quarter, but locations in the US, Ireland, and India were closed for most of that period. There you have it. That basically explains it. Sales of action figures across the toy industry have been sluggish because of the delay of the movie slate. Hasbro holds the master toy license for both Marvel and Star Wars. Still, Hasbro said that sales remain strong for its Frozen 2 and Star Wars collection. Hasbro did face tough comparisons in the action figure category because of the success of Avengers Endgame, which fueled sales. So there you have it. Hasbro basically owns the monopoly on parts of the toy industry, Marvel and Star Wars. There's a lot you can do with that. People buy it to collect it. Kids obviously like the toys to play with, so it's a win-win. And of course, Baby Yoda's nice too. Let's continue on here. What else we got? Now, here's something I did not know, which might surprise you guys. Hasbro owns Death Row Records. Yes, Death Row Records, the music label that had Tupac, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. They own Death Row Records, which didn't make any sense to me. I thought this was a joke, but it's actually true. I looked into it, and they own them. Hasbro, the corporation known for Mr. Potato Head, My Little Pony, and Power Rangers, bought Entertainment One, owner of Death Row Records. Now, I was wondering what can they do with Death Row Records with a toy company? And the CEO celebrated his purchase, saying the acquisition of E1 adds beloved story-led global family brands that deliver strong operating returns to Hasbro's portfolio and provides a pipeline of new brand creation driven by family-oriented storytelling. I have no idea what that means and how Death Row can help into that, but hey, maybe they got some plan that we gotta wait and see. There are, however, $130 million in cost synergies available for both companies that they pass go by 2022. It took in more than $30 million in revenue in the first quarter of 2019. E1 acquired the catalog of Death Row, which had previously been forced to declare bankruptcy in 2006. Here you go. So the West Coast gangster rap, thanks to artists like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac. Yeah, the internet really changed the game, guys, because now people don't really need record labels to push their music. They can just go and put it on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and they don't really need a label anymore. All right, let's continue on. Now, if you go on the Hasbro investor page, I just typed in Hasbro investor page. This is what comes up. And you can see here, you can search by dividend, investor news, quarterly financials, public relations. You can see what they're doing with philanthropy, entertainment, brands. You can pick the year. I picked 2020 because that's the most relevant year. And I picked dividend. This is what came up. I clicked on it, and then we got this. This is very helpful if you were trying to invest. It tells you Hasbro Inc. has announced that its board of directors has declared a quarterly cash dividend of 68 cents per common share. The dividend will be payable on November 16th to shareholders of record at close of business November 2nd. And it tells you more about the company on the investors page. It's a global play and entertainment company committed to creating the world's best play and entertainment experiences, from toys, games, and consumer products to television, movies, digital gaming, live action, music, and virtual reality experience. Now, that's something I didn't know. They are investing in the virtual reality experience, and who knows in a couple years if that starts to take off too, because that's something a lot of companies are definitely investing in. And a few iconic brands of Hasbro: Nerf, Magic, The Gathering, My Little Pony, Transformers, Play-Doh, Monopoly, Baby Alive, Power Rangers, Peppa Pig, and PJ Masks, as well as premier partner brands. Now, once we do that, I'm still trying to see what else is going on, right? You gotta check the news. The news can be a big part of how the stock is doing. Hasbro stocks plunge as toy factory shutdown hurt sales. So there you go. We got another article to confirm that the shutdown of the factories did indeed affect why their sales have been lower. And look at that, Baby Yoda, he's back. All right, let's continue on. Hasbro, which make toys tied to popular Disney franchise as well as Nerf, Monopoly, and Peppa Pig, said that overall sales were down 29%. Hasbro said Chinese factories, which make up about 55% of the company's production, are now operating at normal levels and trying to catch up to meet demands for the holidays. Toy production at facilities in the US, Ireland, and India are ramping back up as well. Yeah, obviously delays of the Marvel films. Black Widow was supposed to come out in May, but didn't happen. The film has been delayed until November, but at this rate, who knows, it could get pushed back even more if theaters are still not comfortable opening up and if people don't want to go, if they operate in limited capacity. So you guys have it. There's that information as well. But like I said, this thing could go up, but I'm not in really any type of sense of urgency to buy this thing. It's just on a watch list to see if it kind of dips lower. Now, if you go on the Hasbro website, this is kind of not the greatest news. Super Soakers. Who had a Super Soaker? That was the greatest toy ever. You can just go by the pool, play with your friends, and they kept on releasing new ones. Good times back in the early 2000s and late 90s. They recall XP20 and XP30 water blasters, and if you go on the website, it kind of shows you a catalog of what they have. And like I said, they kind of reach multiple demographics. I mean, kids who want to play with the little dolls. They got these lightsabers that are almost $200. You got people who want to collect them. Of course, the Power Rangers, action figures, people love those. And look at this, the Marvel Infinity Gauntlet electronic fist, $100. So someone out there is buying this stuff, and it shows you can view all their brands. So I'll just click on that, and like I said, I would spend a lot of time going through seeing, okay, what's their catalog. They got Power Rangers, they got Transformers, they got My Little Pony, they got Play-Doh, they got Star Wars. So they're pretty exclusive when it comes to toys. A company can't just rip them off and make their own toys without having some type of infringement on the trademarks and all that good stuff that Hasbro currently owns. Now, we got a few more things here and then we'll wrap this thing up. This is from CNN. Thousands of Hasbro water guns sold at Target recalled due to lead. So there you go, that's what happened with it. This is from August 21st, which is today. So this happened recently. This might have explained the dip over here, and maybe it might dip a little bit more. We're gonna have to wait and see. More than 52,000 water guns which are sold at Target are being recalled by Hasbro. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission said in a notice, the decorative sticker on the water tank of the water blaster toy contains levels of lead in the ink that exceeds the federal lead content ban. So that's interesting. I guess you can have a certain amount of lead for the there you go, they circled it too. You can have a certain amount of lead on the little stickers, but once it exceeds that amount, you can't really have more than that, I guess, for safety or whatever. And that's pretty much what happened. Now, if they're just gonna have some type of, if they're just gonna print it basically on the item instead of having a sticker, it could be a quick fix. It tells you what the two products are. Lead exposure in children can lead to impaired cognition and behavioral disorders, among other health effects, and is toxic if ingested. There have been no injuries reported related to the recall, so that's good. Yeah, you don't want lead, because that's going to cause a bunch of issues. And also, something else in the news, this is from August 7th. Hasbro is removing troll dolls from stores amid complaints that button is inappropriately placed. Okay, let's see what we have to say about that. Hasbro says it's pulling a troll doll from store shelves after a petition with over 150,000 signatures accused a toy maker of promoting child abuse by placing a button on the doll's private area under her skirt. That's pretty interesting. How many people have a problem with a second button that's placed under her bottom, under her skirt, and when pressed will cause the doll to make a sound such as wee and ooh, as one Twitter video with over 500,000 views showed? You know, I don't remember that video, but I guess people saw it. 500,000 views. When you push this button on the doll's private, she gasps and giggles. It's not okay for a child's toy. This toy needs to be removed from our stores, says the online petition aimed at Target, Amazon, Walmart, and other major retailers. What will this toy make our innocent, impressionable children think? That it's funny when someone touches your private area? Well, I'll leave it at that because it kind of gets the words they use, I'm not sure, are the best ones. So we're going to leave it at that. Anyways, you got the idea. So they pulled this troll doll because of the button was inappropriately placed. So this was from August 7th. Now, I'd just be curious. Let's go see if anything happened during the beginning of August with the stock, how that news affected it. August 7th was right around there, 76, 75, so it didn't really affect it too much. It kind of just went up. So the news wasn't really as damaging to the brand, although they probably had to remove it and make some adjustments to it. But there you have it, guys. So Hasbro, to reiterate, is not a stock that I own. It's on the watch list. I would seriously consider it if it was maybe in the 40s, but right now it is kind of highly valued for me and my investment strategy. But I did the research for you guys, so you don't have to. We learned something new today. They own Death Row Records, which I'm sure most of you guys did not know. And I showed you guys how you can check the investors page. Very easy. Something that I always do with any type of new stock I'm going to invest in, just so I have a better idea of what the company is doing and what direction they're going. And here you go. These are some more of the brands from Hasbro: Marvel, Nerf, Play-Doh, Sesame Street, Tonka, Transformers, Star Wars, My Little Pony, Monopoly, and a bunch of other stuff I've never heard of. So it's crazy. Certain toys that you grew up with as a kid playing with, Power Rangers, now even they're still popular, and looks like the sales are pretty good for them. Alright guys, so that's going to be the next video. As always, Thank you for watching. If you're not already subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, don't forget to like. Until next time, peace.